and surely the Navajo Nation. I have business people coming up to me and saying, Doc, we know your overhead is 60 to 70%. How are you keeping in business? This administration does not like small business. This administration understands that what was the workhorse of America is a small business person. They're building a government. Who's going to fund it? I understand those things. It's not about creating jobs right now. It's about saving jobs. And I don't know what kind of malarkey you guys believe in, but no one's taken into the trends of late summer, late spring, early summer, and the natural trends of employment in this country. And what's going to happen in the fourth quarter and the first quarter, fourth quarter of this year and the first quarter of next year? It's that same tale. Because it's not permanent jobs, they're small jobs, they're intermittent jobs. These are not full-time jobs, folks.
When they start laying off census workers.
What's that?
When they start laying off these census workers.
There you go. There you go. And where did that stimulus money go? There, it was all government.
Some of it's going to Greece.
So what we've got to do, and here's the next thing, just so you know. I sold my practice last Tuesday to a kid from here in Flagstaff. And I'm proud of that. Because I brought somebody home that wanted to be home. And that's something that we have to do with family. If you wonder why I know so much about banking, did we get that bank loan for that kid here in this state? No. Do you think we were going to get it in this state? No. Do you think we could have got it anywhere else in the country? Absolutely no. Guess how we got it? Through a benefit through the American Dental Association. What did Thomas Jefferson tell us about his biggest worry, and he argued incessantly about it, was government take over the banks. You darn right. And let me ask you about the charade with Goldman Sachs. Is anybody behind that charade? Let me give you some information. Was Goldman Sachs ever offered less than $1 for dollar buyout? No. How absurd. Was any other bank given the same thing? No. In fact, the Citigroup, which was a small business bank, were they even allowed to offer shares? No. That's a shame. Shame. You know, we have to start looking at things from a historical viewpoint. And there's countless people that have said, if you're not a disciple and understand and look and review history, you become a product of history. It repeats itself. Here we go again. Tell me what was different between this era and Teddy Roosevelt. A central bank was Stanton. And many of the moves that happened during that time, most people credit for him putting off the Great Depression. We've got to come with some more innovation. So what do we got to do? Small business is what? Leveraging money, right? That's what it is. So where's the money going to come from?
Private sector.
How do we do it?
You have to cut taxes for one thing.
Good. Well, first we got to start printing money.
And you have to cut regulations where people can operate. You have to get out of their way and let them operate their business.
You're exactly right. But we also got to do something else.
You have to create wealth rather than consuming it.
There you go. I like where you're going.
You have to create wealth, through productivity and manufacturing and all that type of thing.
But what we got to do is, I got to get a buy-in to America. Let me ask you a couple things. How long ago did the old money in America go off the playing field?
40 years.
Well, not really. But they're still old money. But they left it 5 years ago. They've not been playing in the playing field. Why do they want to come back in? This administration is devaluing the dollar and their assets. Okay? Here's a free marketplace. When a bank gives me a loan, do they watch over me? Do they make me succeed? No. But if I give you money, I'm going to make sure I'm going to succeed. I say, hey, Gus, what are you doing? Tell me what's your profit loss. Tell me how you're doing this. All those things. I get something that I can't buy from a bank. So I need a directional incentive. Small business and infrastructure. And I want America to invest in itself. And everything's on the plate. I said infrastructure. I mean roads, bridges, infrastructure. Let's step back in time. Remember when the bridge went down in Minneapolis, Minnesota? And they said how many bridges in the country weren't usable? How many of those actually got done? Actually, 5%. Okay? My brother-in-law is one of the foremost engineers in the country for dams and bridges. Okay? Well, holy cow, we're running around on infrastructure that shouldn't even tolerate us. Boy, I think it'd be time to see what we could do, private sector-wise in an infrastructure act. I want to take that chance. I want to see what people can do. Because that's how we build. Tell me about our steel industry. Non-existent. Okay? We got construction people. We got everything here. We can put it to work. And small businesses, that's how we start getting it to work. Lean and mean. Get it to go. And you know what's even better about that? Is District 1. How can we do this? Agriculture. Someone's going to say, you're hiring a kite. Oh, wait. Okay? Energy and resources. Let's talk about agriculture. What does District 1 have in agriculture? Everything. Citrus. We have all the fruits and vegetables. We got cotton down the south. We've got pork. We've got chickens. We've got beef. We've got water. Holy cow, we got a lot here.
What about lumber?
We got lumber too.
But it's locked up.
Well, but those are things, we got to start looking at deregulating. We got to start looking at this. But do you know that in 2008, in the Farm Bill, there was actually a passage that 16 states or entities could actually do their own food stamps. They had to do it for 5 years. Let me ask you a quick question. What is on the WIC diet, women, infants, and children, that everybody shouldn't be on? Maybe the fruit juices. Okay? I can take that. There is nothing. If I'm asking you to tighten your belt, then the federal government should also tighten its belt. And the bureaucracy. Can you trade WIC dollars like you can food stamps? Absolutely not. And guess what the #1 class in schools are today? Cooking. Here's a sign. All of a sudden we get to teach kids about what's good for you, how it should be, and how you get involved with your body. Personal accountability, personal responsibility, and they're dying to learn. Here's your sign. There's a good little avenue to start here. Boy, I thought First Things First in Arizona was a great way to start. That's one right there. And we got the whole country to show it. #2 is energy. We're blessed. My energy ideas is that everything is on the table. Everything is on the table. But let's make it work for us. Okay? Because I also believe in alternative energy. I built my house. I'm the first guy out in Coconino County who took all the styrofoam blocks, by the way. You know what? If you look at my house, it looks like a regular log and rock house. It's very energy efficient. It stays very cool in the summer and very warm in the winter. So you don't know any different. We can teach construction, because I put myself through school with construction. I built big, long mansions, and in the times when things were bad in Wyoming, we did add-ons and energy efficiencies and all that kind of stuff. So we can work, but it's best done on the community level. Solar may not be good somewhere else in the state. It's great here. Wind. All these things need to be there. Yeah, let's work. Holy cow, today we had way too much. This is the first time I've ever had a gust when I was driving down to Camp Verde for a meeting. And I started in one lane and I ended up halfway in the other lane. And I got a little scared. And if you've ever been in Wyoming between Laramie and Cheyenne, okay, it took some doing there. But, and you got another thing. It's called the Native Americans. I want to spend a little time right there with Native Americans. Something happened with Native Americans. They get the same benefits that you and I do. And this applies to health and to energy. But they also get another thing through the BIA, the Bureau of Indian Affairs. So they get another tributary. In that aspect, they actually challenged the federal courts about self-determination. And the courts have held it. In the past, they had to do their contracts in health with Indian Health Services. Now they don't have to. They can actually take the money allotted to them by tribal numbers and do whatever they'd like to. There's a few strings, but not like the rest of the strings the rest of us show. I actually believe that they have the salvation for our health care. they could actually have the state-of-the-art hospitals, physicians from all over the world, a Native